Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Game 2 draft. We're already starting here quickly with the bans. There was a micro patch update on League in between these games. We have no clue whether it was bug fixes, a hot fix nerf. No clue what it was. So that makes this extremely interesting. First ban coming out from Literal Monkeys, going to be the Annie. They're, of course, on blue side of this game. Tenebris Esports this time going to be taking the red side. Belveth once again banned. Hecarim once again taken away. It's going to be interesting to see what changes. I'm hoping to see some earlier game champions from these teams. It was a complete bloodbath last game. 44 kills in 33 minutes. Not something you see too often. They were constantly scrapping. An Amumu ban coming out. Amumu would have been an interesting champion to see. Like Paco said, they do play it a lot on Literal Monkeys. Definitely another scrappy support that's going to be leaving the Rift this game. Last game, a lot happened across the bot lanes. It felt like Zeri and Jinx put in a lot of the effort. I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing a Jinx ban from Tenebris yet. Could be their next ban overall. Zeri was nerfed in that last patch. Probably was a little bit difficult to get used to the damage not in the early game, but as we went on, the scaling damage was hit pretty hard. Ezreal going to be banned away. Bard! That probably is not the actual ban. Would be interesting to see why they would ban the Bard overall. I don't believe there's anyone who frequents Bard too much on Literal Monkeys. Kind of an interesting person to hover here. However, we're getting close to the time to see what they're actually going to take away. There's no way, right? No, there it is. The Rakan. Rakan makes a lot of sense. Had some pretty great plays. Was on top of that Zeri a lot as we moved to the mid and late game. And honestly was low-key an MVP for Literal Monkeys in the team fights of that last game. Charmed was constantly hitting 3 to 4 man charms, constantly hitting 2 to 3 people knock up, and was always on Asol or Zeri when he needed to be. So I think that's a good ban. But Jinx, of course, going to be the first pick for Literal Monkeys. Not too surprising considering how hard we've seen it go off. Going to be interesting to see what Tenebris Esports are going to answer with. They're most likely going to be looking to counter with probably an ADC and support, or an ADC and a jungle. Of course, Jarvan is still left up if they want to try to run it back. Although it was looking good in the early game, as we got to the mid and late game, it did fall off pretty hard. Especially with how late into the game we ended up getting. That Wukong going to be locked in was just nerfed pretty badly. It took a rough damage nerf, took a pretty rough attack speed nerf, a cooldown nerf on the W. Gonna be interesting to see how that is played by Anna Winter. Whether they're gonna be able to still perform the same way they did last patch, or if the new nerfs to Wukong is gonna make it hard to play. They did not have long to practice this today. You gotta keep in mind, 13.7, the patch we're playing on came out this morning around 10 a.m. Zeri gonna be locked in once again. Also a champion that was nerfed last patch. Was played last game, looked good, fell off pretty quick. What is Monkeys going to counter with? What are they going to find to try to stay on top of that Zeri? Last time it was the Rakan. They are, once again, going to need to find something to lock down that Zeri in the support role. And as well, I expect to see a jungle pick up from them. Although we might see that top lane pick up again. They did elect to do a third top pickup before the ban phase last time. However, they were on red side. So they were going to have to plan anyways. The Maokai going to be picked up. Probably jungle. Could potentially be support. I've been seeing it rock in the support role more and more recently. However, that's a very strong pickup if you're looking to lock down the Zeri. Micropatch makes things sad. Yes, micropatch makes everything sad, especially when you don't know. We tried to research what the micropatch was, but considering it literally happened in between lobbies, still nothing out on it just yet. The next pickup from Literal Monkey is going to be that Malphite again. They took it third last time. They're taking it third again. Not afraid to blind it. Didn't go too well for them in the laning phase, but did find the game-winning pick using Unstoppable Force. Was able to 1v1 the Zeri somehow, some way. The end there, and did decent once they started hitting level 9s, level 10. The early game, though, I expect to be played very differently from Chinese Spy. They gave a lot to that Scion in the first 6-7 levels of the game. Weren't able to do a lot. Got caught out a lot by the jungler as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Chinese Spy changes their game. But overall, we're not seeing too much of a difference. A Yuumi locked in here was recently switched. A really strong pairing with the Zeri. Going to be best friends with the Zeri, I can imagine. So it's a little bit of a stronger bot lane, I'd say, overall from Tenebris Esports. I think I like the Yuumi a little bit more than I like the Heimerdinger. It felt like a little bit of a clashing of personalities in that bot lane last time. This time, that Yuumi should help Zeri run wild, especially if they can find that early 3-4 kills that they found last game. Yone, once again, going to be banned away from Tenebris. As we go to Literal Monkey's next ban, they're looking to ban either top laners or mid laners. We could potentially see the Scion ban, although I don't think it did enough damage to really warrant it. It is possible. It did do a little bit of damage to the Malphite. They're probably looking to ban to try to keep the Malphite safe. There goes the Gwen, a pretty decent ban when you're playing with a Maokai and Malphite on your team. Now Tenebris looking for that 5th ban, looking for something that is going to halt Zeri or Yuumi. Could even potentially see maybe get rid of the space aids. I'm forgetting the name here. Malzahar maybe wants to get rid of the Malzahar mid. Anything that provides a decent bit of lockdown you want to get rid of when you're against Zeri. They're going to take away the Jarvan. Interesting, considering that Maokai is very likely the jungler on Literal Monkeys, or at the very least a flex pick, to get rid of the Jarvan. Not necessarily something we'd commonly see. The Ornn going to be dropped from Literal Monkeys as red forced to show. Probably going to pick a top laner here. They're looking to pick a... Oh, they're hovering the Bard again. They are a big fan of Hovering Bard, but not going to have the cojones to lock it in, unfortunately. Be cool to see the Meeps on the Rift. Don't see it very often. It's going to be the Sylas they're going to lock in. Could be a Sylas mid, could be a Sylas jungle, or could be a Sylas top if they're choosing to flex that Wukong to the top lane. Decent pickup, really hides where that Sylas is going to go. Might be a blind, but still has some room to question what they want to do with that Sylas overall. Going to be interesting to see what Literal Monkeys closes their comp out with. They got 6 seconds on this next pick. Really taking their time, probably deciding on what that second pick is going to be right now. The Rammus comes out. Interesting pick to bring out a Rammus. Not something you see conventionally in comp. Still one of the better junglers right now. I believe they also got nerfed a little bit in that 13.7. A lot of junglers took a hit that last patch. Probably a Rammus into that Wukong. It's not a great matchup for Wukong. Still nothing that's completely damning, though. However, that Rammus can do a lot of damage with Thorns activated to this area. A Victor going to be brought on the mid lane. For a scrappy team, they have a lot of picks that aren't fighting that early. Especially with a Victor who, if you get an assist or a kill on him, can scale pretty quickly. And considering how often there's fights on this Rift, could be very useful if he can get himself ahead and snowball. But overall, not a champion that's going to be doing a lot of those first few levels of the game, which is where Literal Monkeys and Tenebris really were trying to make their marks. Galio going to be the last pick from Tenebris, meaning that Wukong, wait a minute, could be a Sylas jungle Wukong top, especially against a Rammus. Going to be interesting to see what we see when we get to the draft, the in-game draft, to see where these picks are going to go. Sylas could be in the top lane. I'm pretty sure the only confirmed thing here is a Galio, and Sylas and Wukong going to be left in question. I've seen both these people picked in both roles. It depends how hard they think the nerfs hit Wukong, whether it's worth playing him in that top lane instead into the Malphite, or if they're going to go Sylas. Probably a little bit more likely to say that Sylas, just because Unstoppable Force is a really nice ultimate to have on Sylas. Actually, Sylas is a pretty good ult to play with this game. They have the Super Mega Death Rocket. They have the Vines from Maokai. They have Unstoppable Force. Even Victor's little I'm so sorry, blank on the name. The little laser in the middle there can do a lot of damage if they can find a good spot to use it, especially when you have Rammus and especially when you're against a Rammus and a Malphite. That AP damage can come into play very, very quickly. Overall, what you're looking from these two teams, I imagine Literal Monkeys, although Lucas says they will be fighting a lot in lane at all times. Very good comp for team fighting. Definitely looking to keep Victor and Jinx ahead to do a lot of the damages on their team comps. They need that Jinx ahead for the AD damage. They need that Victor ahead for the AP damage, because odds are we're going to be seeing a tankier Maokai, probably some Radiant built on him. You know Rammus and Malphite are pretty well going to be building that tank and frontlining for those two champions. So if Victor or Jinx fall behind, it's going to be a very difficult comp to play for Literal Monkeys. Meanwhile, on to Tenebris, Wukong going to be doing a lot of the team fight work. Of course, Cyclone's still one of the best ultimates in the game for trying to knock people up. If they can fight it on Jinx and Victor at the same time, that's a lot of damage neutralized for a bit of the fight. Sylas going to be looking to get some of those crucial ultimates, going to be looking to pick up those Unstoppable Forces, going to be looking to really knock up a lot of the people on Literal Monkeys. And then Galio, probably going to be following up the Wukong and Sylas, while Zeri and Yumi run circles around them if they can. These team comps a lot more focused than they were last time. Tenebris had a problem where their team didn't really have an identity in the last game. This time, it's very clear to see what they want to do. However, it plays a lot on that Zeri making it out of laning phase again with a decent lead. Last time, they were able to find 3-4 kills at the laning phase. Did kind of get blundered as we went later on. But overall, they are going to go ahead and start looking to get a little bit of an impact, which means odds are we see either the Wukong or Sylas, depending on what the jungler is, pathing towards that bot side, trying to get Zeri ahead. I'd honestly imagine we see Maokai doing the same, trying to get the counter ganks. However, if they think that top lane is going to be bloody, depending if it's Sylas or Wukong, we could see them potentially try to make their own mark on the game by pathing towards the top side there. I think overall, this is going to be a game that's heavily decided by both the early laning phase in that bot lane, maybe in that top lane, but if things come out of control, and oh, did we cut? No. We are, okay, my bad. So we are going to be looking to see a lot of the team fighting from both these teams, and whether Zeri and Jinx are able to get a big advantage in the laning phase of this game. But I think even though I think we are going to go ahead and send it to intermission and wait out the spectator delay. So don't go anywhere to see if Literal Monkeys are able to dethrone Tenebris, or sorry, are able to get the 2-0 victory over Tenebris Esports, or if we will go to a game 3.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of the world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rift. I'm once again joined by none other than Paka Paul, the draft coach and overall coach of Literal Monkeys. Welcome to the stream again, Paka. Oh my God!
Yeah, thank you for
Already
having me
going in.
back. And
Pyramid
they
burning
heard,
flash.
they heard me game one. They were ghosting the
Wait.
stream with a 3-minute delay. I said I wanted a level 1. Though I did want it for the other team. I'm glad something happened before.
I do
it
gotta
installed.
ask, why did 19 Naked Cowboys burn flash?
Oh.
They weren't there. What were they?
Oh.
They wanted to get a lane a little quicker, or
Oh no.
is this like a psychological threat? You burn flash early because you just don't need it?
Well, like, yeah, if you really think about it this way, right? If you're like so alpha, you bring like so much Giga Chad support energy. Flash is a dishonest way to fight.
So what I'm hearing is it's 19 Naked Alpha Cowboys.
Oh, at this point, there's 24 in the ranch, man.
Oh, okay, wonderful, wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Now, like we were talking about in the draft, well, like I was talking about in the draft screen, Anna Winter ready to roll up on the top lane. Meanwhile, Rammus heading to the bottom lane. Do you enjoy the pathing of MIT Zoomer right now?
Well, I think that it's what needs to happen with this Rammus pick. I think if we're picking Rammus in this spot, the goal of it is going to be put their bot lane behind as much as possible, use Maokai as our initial W, and follow up with the Rammus CC, really extend that through the cleanse where Zeri has to make a really hard cleanse decision and try to capitalize that way. I think that's the goal, so I think this has to happen. But I'll be honest, I'm not happy with Rammus's pathing, at which he was matching the Wukong. I feel like that makes a lot more sense, but with the way the draft fell, I think this is the way it has to be.
Now, we were talking off screen, I think it's worth mentioning here. You don't necessarily like the Malphite pick that's getting beat up right now by XMB. You want to break down how you wish it would have gone instead.
So, I just don't like Malphite Blind as a concept. The champion's so powerful right now, it really can work in a lot of spots, but it's such a counterable champion. Fortunately for the side of Literal Monkeys, they did drop a lot of AP, but this is just unplayable.
XMB completely beating the hell out of Chinese Spy, forcing him to use a flash. Another flash from the Literal Monkeys. Burnt on this Rift already. That's 3 flashes down to open the game 3 minutes in.
Yeah, and it's tough to see because this is why this matchup, this blind isn't great. Oh,
never mind. A little bit of a botch slam there. Did find a nice route, but not going to be executed properly. And that means Zeri going to be fine this game. How do you feel about running back the Zeri Jinx matchup?
Jinx is the better champion. Happy with it. I understand they want to match scaling into us. I like the Sivir more. Oh, there's another gank.
A taunt comes in. There's a flash from the Wukong. They're going to find a slow on Pyramid Boy. It's looking like first blood without the flash. Flash burnt earlier. Now Galio picks up the first blood as Literal Monkeys down a kill now. Gold gap beginning to show, especially if this works properly. XMB, though, missing everything. He missed everything. Forced to burn flash. Is still gonna find the kill, but goes down as well. Completely botched the tower dive. That's gotta sting a little bit.
It does, especially since the wave isn't in, and Malphite is bailed out by the wave state being a little weird from them all taking aggro onto the Silence during the dive. He actually doesn't miss that many minions. Now, he is still down a good amount of minions, but that's a big gamble play from XMB.
Upper XMB gonna be back there with a blasting wand. Oh my God, a repeat gank on a Pyramid Boy. He's caught by the taunt. Anna Winters tries to help out, but Pyramid Boy still gonna be okay because of the gravitational field. Chinese Spy looking at XMB, looking to find whatever he can so he can claim some minions. The wave pushing back into XMB's tower. Not the worst wave state.
Yeah, it's not the worst considering how dire this matchup is. Actually having a level advantage, probably giving him enough to get this next wave in, but this is such a scary matchup, especially with Wukong all the way right now.
Now Wukong is going to be looking for Chinese Spy. Chinese Spy, of course, all sums burnt. If XMB can find the route, it's probably easy, but the chains do miss. Chinese Spy still nowhere to go until Rammus gets there. Tries to bail him out. Chinese Spy still committing to the fight. Is going to die because of it, but Zoomer going to force that wave in and roll his roly-poly ass away from that top lane.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the Rammus pick trying to match the Wukong there, which is fortunate. And the damage did look good, but again, Anna Winter finding a way to punish the Malphite matchup even further as that wave's coming out. And I think it's gears turning for this Sylas. This matchup's going to get really ugly really fast for Chinese Spy.
Yeah, absolutely. A 2-1 Silas sitting in that top lane. Up in CS, but a root gonna come out of this bot lane. Zeri getting punished a bit, but because of how quick that champion is, hopping over the wall is going to do quite a bit of damage in the 19 Alpha Cowboys as he's chunked to a quarter HP.
And I mean, I guess they didn't fight until his flash was back up, really, so the genius stands true, but that's going a little too far there. That trade is tough, because, again, this Zeri Yuumi bot lane is so slippery. As soon as they E over the wall there, it's so hard to chase, and this is going to be the big problem for Little Monkeys to solve all game. Will Grim Defire's Zeri be too slippery to solve, or will they find enough engage tools through that cleanse even to take this Zeri down with the Yuumi attach?
Now, the bright side is, if they can find it, it's an easy double kill for the Jinx to pick up. Being able to kill a Zeri with a Yuumi is like killing 2 Zeris. You're going to find both kills 9 times out of 10 if there's no one there for the Yuumi to hop on. But right now, speaking of hopping on, the Galio right on top of Pyramid Boy. Pyramid Boy does have flash this time if he needs to go. Rammus there as well, but Rammus has no health as Anna Wintour ready to hop on him if he gets close. They're trying to use that tower as leverage to get them away. However, a lot of damage done. Here comes XMB as well, though. Same with the Maokai. A big unstoppable force, and there goes Victor, sent straight to the gray screen before he can even think to use that flash. Is going to be sent back off the rift as a strong lead being taken. Wait, Maokai might also be caught. There's the taunt. Anna Winter's not able to get there quick enough as 90 Naked Cowboys flashes to go and try to break the wave a little bit. How are you feeling right now? It's got to be a little rough for you watching at the moment. 4-1 for Carnivorous Esports.
Well, it wasn't my choice in the draft room to blind Malphite, and it wasn't my choice in the draft room to pick Rammus. And I'll say it, I'm dissatisfied. I'll be as tame as I can be with my words. I'm not the happiest at the moment. I could be a happier fellow.
However, you might be real happy here as an unstoppable force and a roly-poly's gonna get the shutdown onto the Silas at the cost of the Hextech Drake.
Slightly happier about the Malphite and Rammus picks, seeing how we shut down the Silas. We're back to like a 5 on my confidence level. Back to a 5. We were down at a 3. We're up to a 5 now.
Now, of course, last game we seen some very similar shades when you look at this kill total. Last time it was 5-2. This time it's 4-2. And still, Literal Monkeys came back in 1. Does that give you... Well, like, what do you think? You think we're going to see a repeat of history here?
This is the Literal Monkey special. I don't think this team has a bunch of great laners. I think this team has a bunch of great players who like to work together. You always have to keep your eye on, for every Literal Monkeys game this season, first team fight. They just find ways to like create even game states. And if they're able to just continue doing that in this first team fight, I'm not worried about this game. But if the first team fight goes the way of TE, I think this is a runaway train that's too fast to stop. I think the weak laning is just, if you lose a team fight and your laning isn't the strongest, it's just lights out. It just has to be.
Now, they haven't actually found a team fight just yet. They did concede that first Hextech Dragon. Of course, Rift Herald is on the table if they want to try to look for a fight there. We do see Anna moving towards that mid lane, able to break some pressure and go after that Rift Herald, but no supports rotated yet. Not a whole lot of pressure being placed on that giant purple gold getter.
Yeah. No one's been looking at it so far, but it looks like Rammus is continuing to path into this top side as there's just a kid. What did Pyramid Boy do to you? Anna Wintour is just living in this mid lane rush just mercilessly against this Victor, just trying to shut him down early. I guess you've talked about it a little. If you do shut down the Victor, there's not a lot of AP damage in the game because both of these other AP options are going tank. And then you can just build armor, so maybe that's what they're looking for here.
Rammus caught out. The Cyclone gonna hit. He is killed as the Silas stole the ultimate at the end there. A little bit interesting use of a Rammus ultimate. But Rammus is killed, and that's gonna be a free Herald for Tenebris as the Wukong now 2-0. And we're in the exact same position as the last game. Literal Monkeys down a dragon, down 3 kills, and losing Herald. It is time for their comeback if they want to repeat the story and close this series out early.
Yeah, it is always about finding a repeat of history here if you're the Literal Monkeys, because it's looking a little grim in the early game as this 1v1 it might be a kill.
It's a 2v1. Chinese Spy forced to flash away. Does still have the ultimate up. He's looking pretty safe, but he's still electing to try to do some damage back towards XMB and Anna Wintour in the face of a 2v1. Not scared, and this is why Rammus is here. He's rolling like Sonic. He finds out, but Galio incoming. A big slam. Chinese spy being sent back to China as he goes down, and MIT Zoomer gonna find that tower and just play safe under it.
Yeah, and I mean, they got a little excited. They thought there was a catch out, but they forgot about the Galio ulti, and that spells doom again, as I think their eyes probably widened behind their screens as they got in trouble, but Anna Wintour might be in a little trouble.
MIT Zoomer found dead as XMB is able to pick him off with Anna Wintour. Nobody gonna go down. TP is sent to get a lot of gold off that Rift Herald, and now a TP mid lane Pyramid Boy still just trying to farm up. Still trying to get those augments for his laser before he can start doing some damage. A Super Mega Death Rocket sent somewhere. But here we go. A big fight on Antion. He is exhausted. The roots come out, but it's too late. Antion goes down to Grim Defear, and now they're looking at 90 Naked Cowboys. They are sending them back to Ram Ranch. If they can find the kill, they do. Oh my God, not even close as Rammus pulls up to try to go after Grim Defear. But of course, Rammus not really going to be able to do a lot to Zeri. Those zap auto attacks, you know, they're nothing special.
Yeah, it really is just doom. We might not even get to a first team fight that matters for the side of Little Monkeys, as XMB wants more blood. He's just trading into this Malphite over and over again. I can't tell if XMB just... Someone will be dead in top lane every time there are two people in top lane, if XMB has anything to say about it. But again, back to that team fight point, I don't know if we're going to get there. This gold advantage is starting to grow, and 3K at 30 minutes is much different than 3K at 12. They're running away with this game so far.
Yeah, and of course, those mythic items already brought out. Silas and early Roa. Wukong already has the Divine. Everfrost already taken the Galio. Kraken already in this area, and no items to match it on Literal Monkeys. They are caught in a rock and a hard place right now as that dragon spawns. Probably going to be forced to drop this next dragon. They just don't have the items to keep up with it at the moment.
Yeah, they just don't, and I think something that we might see from Monkeys is they'll try anyway. This is a very just standard way of playing for them. So I'd be surprised to see if they show discipline here, or if they still throw all their bodies at Drake just to see what happens. But it looks like as some action is starting to form around this side of the map, we're going to find out our answer soon.
Going after the Galio, but the entire team of Nibiris roaming up. Pyramid Boy and MIT Zoomer might be caught. There's the Cyclone. There's the last chapter. Goodbye, Pyramid Boy, as he's sent back to Egypt on the gray screen once again. Still a lot of kills in this game. 11 kills at 13 minutes, and we might get a tower dive on MIT Zoomer. He has to roll away. They're going to look to take that mid tower. They're probably going to find it. Not a lot these two can do. Not a lot of damage on the table without the Jinx there. Jinx still in that bot lane farming. They do save the tower. However, they are taking a lot of damage both to themselves and to the map around them.
Yeah, and it, again, is just spelling trouble. The play, it's just overreaching, diving, looking for too much, and the punish has just been so good from TE all game. I think the Wukong's been pretty active around the mid lane and has been rewarded for it, but besides that, like, all game here from TE, they've been roaming around the map, helping each other out when they can. They're making plays with multiple people, and it is really paying dividends, as honestly also, Grim is hitting every W on Antion here. He is in trouble on this Jinx, as I guess if every W is gonna land, you have no chance.
It does feel like the Nimbers have found their footing in this game, doing a great job exploiting every weakness that Literal Monkeys have had throughout this game. They've clearly found a winning strategy that they didn't have last game, and it's going to take a lot right now for Literal Monkeys to come back. 5K gold down and still being punished very, very hard. They've lost that mid turret. They've lost a lot of prio on that map. The circle of influence closed quite a bit. However, they do have a lot of objective bounties and gold bounties to claim if they can find a winning fight.
Yeah, they do, and that is the one spell of hope, is that we haven't seen that team fight yet. And though the problem is, if I'm gonna spew some Literal Monkeys hopium to the wonderful people of the Blue Water stream, there still hasn't been a team fight yet. And if there's one thing that this team can do better than any team in the league, probably, is team fight. So until we see that first 5v5 go down, there's hope. Now, if you look at the items here, we have a 3-stack row on Silas. We have the Wukong with the Sunderer. We have a Mythic on Galio. We have a Mythic on Zeri. Even the Yumi's going AP. She's getting in on the damage tonight. And only Force of Nature finished for Chinese Spy to try to counter this matchup as bad as it is. We're good in some spot. I don't know if the first team fight is going to look good, even if it's what our specialty is. Just can't.
They are certainly in a rough spot, but I've seen teams come back from a lot bigger than this. The other night, I seen a team come back from 12k gold down, but right now, Pyramid Boy has to run away from that Galio. Is getting beat up pretty hard. The Zeri and Yumi ready to go in, but the Rammus ready to stop them. Of course, still no first item brought up from anyone but the Malphite, which is a force of nature. A severe lack in damage on the set of literal monkeys as a tower dive might be coming. It's a 3v4 here as Anna Wintour looking to go in. Here comes the Grapevine as it's going to root up everybody. 90 Naked Cowboys almost did a beautiful flash cyclone. 90 Naked Cowboys going to go down. The exhaust is used, but it doesn't matter as Zoomer and Antion going to fall to the Galio. It's a triple kill from Bellsby.
I think that this game has just been a demolishing from the side of TE. I think it starts in draft, and I think it ends in execution. And I think execution-wise, this has been fantastic from the mid-jungle of TE. They've absolutely been controlling all of these side lane plays. Maybe last game they felt like, hey, they were really getting to the side lane first. That Swain was really important in all of these bot lane fights. They adjusted in game 2. And with this Galio being able to show up to these side lanes for these plays, it just has spelled so much trouble all game. This has been a fantastic game so far from Belby.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic game for pretty well every member of TE at the moment. 6k up, you have to be feeling good. It's going to take a lot of misplays to drop a lead like this. It does make a very convincing note to get this to game 3. Could be the second game the Literal Monkeys have ever lost in this league this season.
Yeah, and I mean, what I will say as well is, like, this team is showing that they can throw punches with a scrappy team. If we look, the kills are still almost around a kill a minute, and the pace isn't slow, and I mean, it looks great from TE so far, I have to say. With the third Drake coming up, what do you think happens? Do you think Monkey throws their bodies with whatever they have left as a desperation play? Or do you think they try to slow down the pace finally and try to stall it out? I know this answer a little more than you, but what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, judging by you sound very confident they're going to be wanting to run in. I hope if that's the case, it's only Zoomer looking for the steal, because a big steal could change a lot. It delays the game by 5 minutes, right? However, if you throw your bodies at it, actually, it looks like they're making a smart
it's a
play.
cross map.
Yeah, they're making the smart play. They're going for that Rift Herald. Could be an objective bounty. Could turn into more objective bounties. Your boys are making a smart play here. However, they're going to be on Soul Point. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to be able to steal a good play from the Zeri as they completely delete Pyramid Boy. Sorry, almost a great play by your boys, but Pyramid Boy still giving his life to the cause.
Yeah, and
the sadness in the voice
Oof.
there. Oh,
well,
God.
I'm disappointed because I had a say in 3 of the 5 picks here. But it's fine. I'm fine. We're coming back game 3 stronger than ever. But if there's any credit...
Wait, here it comes. The unstoppable force out, though, from Silas. Not going to be killed that easily. However, the Rift Herald being brought out, forcing XMB to stay. That tower going to fall. Rammus chasing XMB. Not going to go all the way with it, though. They know that there's people rotating over. There might be a 3v3 in this top side, but with a gold gap, you can't imagine Literal Monkey stand a chance.
I can, and it has to be picks on the side at this point, and if they can't find the picks quick, it's gonna be a fast response from Galio, so it has to be like a quick bang CC, bang follow-up comes in, damage comes down as fast as you can to make anything good happen, but I think it's too little. I know it is only 6,000 gold, and we were much more optimistic last game at 6,000. 6,000 at 19 versus 6,000 at 30 is a really different story, though. I have to reiterate, this Galio has full AP. He's a threat within himself. It's not even like they're running low damage and there's a way where you can peel it out perfectly. At this point, Galio has actually forced himself into this game as a threat himself. He can one-shot the carries that are so far behind on the side of Monkeys now, and I think that completely changes how both of these comps are supposed to play against each other. and it really changes the execution game plan from Monkeys and makes it very difficult, to say the least.
It certainly does. Of course, it sounds like you want them to drink some Bang energy to go into this. But that dragon up in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That Baron is on the table. TE can force it, but it's not like they have
Picks on the side.
a big pick. They have him fully rooted. There's nowhere Galio can go. That's 500 gold bounty if they can claim it. Jinx sent the rocket. It does miss. Oh my god! What an ultimate! Belsby back to safety. That's got to be rough for Monkeys.
Oh, I know only you can see my camera, but I have my hands on my head. I'm leaning back in my chair.
I can tell you
Oh,
right
it's
now,
so devastating.
I
It's
see
so
tears. I see tears rolling down both the eyes. The smile is gone. He just broke his headset over his knee. He's smashing stuff just like a monkey would.
And if it reigns true to the org's namesake is that it is run by one very angry League of Legends jungler who plays a lot of Wukong when it matters.
I don't think there's any such thing as a happy jungler in League of Legends. But right now, you know that TE are feeling pretty happy, but they can't let that cockiness potentially get to them. They still need to play smart. Picks will change this game. Bounties will change this game. There's over 1,500 gold in bounties on the table when the kills are eventually claimed, if they are eventually claimed. That would do a big number. Still keep making it 500 gold down. Oh my god! Antion might be dead. Zarites, though, throws out the choppers. Does live, but at what cost of that health bar? Oh, wait a minute. NO Winter's going all the way. Burn Splash gets away. Pyramid Boy, though, completely caught, but here comes 19 Naked Cowboys. Can they do the peel? There's the ultimate from Victor. Victor is looking to do damage. Oh my god, Naked Cowboys, you hit him the wrong way! You hit him the wrong way! But Pyramid Boy, trying to kite, does not get the kill. Naked Cowboys does find a shutdown, but it's not a great person to have the shutdown on.
It isn't, and it looks like he's in trouble as well as the rotation is so quick.
Cyclone comes out. Zeri gonna find another kill. Even burns the ultimate for some strange reason. Maybe just a flex. Sends a message. As XMB and Chinese Spike gonna clash in that bot lane.
Yeah. And I mean, oh, moonwalking. I don't know if you saw that on your end, but a little bit of moonwalking from Silas.
Oh my god, the unstoppable forces coming out. XMB still trying to run, but they are slowed. Rammus is faster, and they have no teammates to back them up this time, just a turret. Goes golden.
Not enough damage though. The draft damage is so low at this point because of how behind the game is. And either way, I mean, it is Rammus and Malphite going on to an AP threat. These AD-centric tanks going on to an AP threat is just, it's just not good looks all around. It seems like their pick options are so limited because their carries are so far behind. But again, going into Soul Point here, does the contest happen now, or is it just...
It has
Is
to.
it just maintaining
really
mental?
To. Now I gotta ask you, how do you want Ellie? How do you want Literal Monkeys to play this going with this dragon? Of course, if they lose it, it's Inferno Soul onto the side of TE.
Honestly, I want him to run it down.
Oh my god!
I'll say it. I think we do whatever we can to preserve our mental going into Game 3. This is a really frustrating game to be in. Because the story, there's justification, I promise. Let me go on my psychotic tirade. Okay, I'm a little bit of a mad scientist.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
All right.
For sure, I'm hearing you out. Wait, troll CP maybe. Rooted. We're going golden though. XMB. There is Antion. They have been caught running it down as the entirety of Literal Monkeys gonna fall one by one to the onslaught of a 43k gold team. That Inferno Soul concretely on the side of TE.
Well, that's not the way I wanted them to run it down. I wanted them to have a little fun to pull trigger and then giggle about it, about how impossible it was. But I'll explain. All right, as this Drake falls, as Soul goes over to TE, as Baron goes over as well, and we see this game start to close out. You maintain mental going into Game 3. This game is a very frustrating game to be in. I think you realize where their limit is. We're like, oh, this game is over. Have fun. Go find something crazy. I mean, if you're 06 Victor, maybe there's no way for you to be happy. Flash on someone. Why not, man? It's League of Legends. We're playing this for fun at the end of the day. We're being competitive, but we're trying to have a good time as well. And make sure that you come into Game 3 as ready as you can to come back and try to take this series from this team who's shown an impressively dominant Game 2 performance.
Now, it is still possible they come back, we should mention. They might be 10k gold down. They might not
Absolutely.
have Inferno Soul. Provided all that needs to happen is they survive this Baron push, steal Elder Drake, and disconnect 3 people from their routers. They have a chance still.
Listen, I'm setting up. Hold up. I need to contact my guy.
Oh,
Give
wait
me
a
a
minute.
moment.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm not sure if we can say that on stream. Wait a minute. Oh my
I mean,
god.
no. Okay, so
Who's your
listen.
guy? Is it a banana dealer? It's a banana dealer, right? It's a banana
It
dealer.
is actually okay. Okay, so I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
power balloons, defense 6.
Oh,
On my
okay,
monitor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What did you think? What did you
Oh,
think?
nothing,
was
nothing at all. However,
yeah,
you are
that would
against
be
a 5-0.
terribly suspect.
You are against a 5-0 Zeri with Yumi. So something
back.
going on. I hear the monkeys are being supplied. They called them Donkey Kong. They're ready to go. However, MIT Zoom are ready to go to that gray screen as soon as that Cyclops goes out.
And as good as gone. 176 kill gold. The scoreline is looking a little tragic. The person who's going to need to be most composed going into Game 3 draft will probably be their coach. I won't lie.
However, wait, they might find a pick here on XMB. Unstoppable force. However, XMB. Oh my god, the
Who's
damage.
getting picked?
The damage. They said call the ambulance, just not for me, but XMB still in a little bit of trouble. Still, once again, missing those chains. Says, I don't know if he's hit those chains yet in this game, but there's enough damage to make up for it. Silas is looking to kill Chinese Spy, but Chinese Spy says, nah, Chief, I'm coming after you. However, Natch over the wall, he's going to get away as his entire base is in shambles. Oh, wow. Antion explodes. Maokai explodes. Zoomer is there, though. Fox Stepbro taking a lot of hits. Nobody to save him. Fox Stepbro dies. Fox Stepbro goes down as Antion finally finds his first kill of the match. Now MIT Zoomer in a rough spot, trying to 4v1 it, doing the best he can, but is also going to go down. And that looks like it's going to be it for Literal Monkeys this game. They have 3 members sieging the base. Chinese Spy and Pyramid Boy still trying to defend. The TP is coming back. However, the timers are pretty short. Maybe they find all these bounties. Maybe they don't. It's not looking good for Pyramid Boy. As they do find a shutdown on the Wukong. Pyramid Boy even lives. It doesn't look like this is the end of game play that TE was looking for. As Chinese Spy successfully defending the base from the 3.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a Baron stall out like we were talking about, but with a 10k. Oh, is Belby dead?
They're looking for Belby for sure. Belby doesn't have ultimate, doesn't have flash, doesn't have the resources to get out this time as Antion finds another kill.
I mean, if there's any hopium that you can inject into your veins, it is in one of the best AD carries in Blue Water League Gold this year. It is Antion. It is this super talented, consistent player.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a couple people he has to cut through. There is a 3.5 item Zeri with a Yumi fearlessly attached on her shoulder, and it's a tough task. It's a tough task. But I'll remain the faithful that I am. I have to be biased. I'll remain a faithful.
Antion is the 7th best rated player in all of Gold, outside of just ADCs. 7th best player. If there's going to be someone who can do it, it's got to be one of the top rated ADCs. So Antion has a chance. They finally have that IE. They finally have a Zeal. They finally have Kraken. They got the Berserkers. They're ready to roll a little bit here. It's just not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination.
I would have to agree, as if the 3rd inhib falls, it has to be as good as game. This is the defense you have to take if you're Literal Monkeys. You take it under this tier 3 tower, because if all 3 inhibs fall, it does not matter that you have your Nexus turrets left. So let's look at this engage here. What will they try to find?
They need to find something that Elder Drake also spawning in 1 minute and 10 seconds. The other option is just hold off and try to steal it. Also, kind of a flippy situation to be in. It is a 5v5 in this bot side. Malphite and Galio a little bit further away from their team. Nothing being looked for just yet. Malphite looking for position, but he is caught by the Galio as they start moving into that turret, knowing Malphite can't stop them. Galio coming in. There is some roots, though, under the tower. A lot of damage. There goes Anna Winter. It's a 5v4 now for Literal Monkeys. They're turning the fight. A big unstoppable force. XMB almost going down, but he goes golden instead. Grim Defender, though, nobody to frontline him. XMB still almost dead here. They are kind of finding a fight here, Literal Monkeys. They're looking for what they can. However, a lot of them low HP. Chinese Spy, low HP. Zoomer, low HP. 30 seconds to Elder Dragon. They're going to go back to base to heal. and maybe try to take a 4v5 on that dragon, but their Nexus turret starting to fall by all the minions sieging their base.
It is so criminal how well this team fights. It's so criminal. That was so suspect. What just happened? They traded 1 for 0, down 10k. Anything is possible. Don't stop believing. I'm a faithful. But with that said, I think what went wrong there for TE is I think they're too eager to make something happen. They're too eager to be like, let's close out this game effectively. And I think that's the right idea to think, but I don't think you should do that by just walking your Wukong really, really aggressively forward. I think you threaten while your carries take the tower, and then once the tower falls, you take that fight. But they just got impatient and they went a little early, and it ends up making them have to pay the price. But again, what does this Elder contest look like? This is going to be a wild scenario if the 3 router DC comes through.
Now, you do have some things here. Of course, Zoomer able to hop over roll walls for a steal if it goes that way. Super Mega Death Rocket now does as much damage as Smite as long as it's leveled. Of course, it's only going to be doing 900 compared to the 1200 damage of the Smite right now, being its level 2 against objectives. But it looks like they're committing to the full fight. They need to do it quick as minions are sieging their base.
And they can just stand here and stall. Look at TE's macro play. This is fantastic from TE. They're not hitting the Elder. They're just standing still. I don't even think Grim touched his keyboard. They're just forcing out the backdoor. And honestly, with Belby and XMB TP, we might actually see a complete backdoor here as they back up. Will they TP onto these minions and cause the panic? Oh, Belby's
backing. Oh my god, the back door is there. They're going in, they're engaging, but it might be too late. The TP coming out. It gets stopped. The TP gets stopped. That's going to be it, folks. TE are going to be the second ever team to find a victory over literal monkeys.
Oh, and Belby slap. Slap. Slap.
Slap. Slap.
Oh, the minions. Pet the stats. Slap.
Wow.
Wow.
What a performance from TE. Finding Phantasm, finding a win over Literal Monkeys. Not only just being the second ever team to do it, apart from Mystic Esports Hydra, but doing it in such convincing fashion. They found their lead early, and this time, even though we had a 5-2 game like last time, they took that lead and they ran with it straight to the park. They hit the home run, and now this is a 1-1 series. I can see you in that camera, Paka. I can see you looking a little bit nervous right now. You want to tell me what's running through your head at this moment?
Just what to say to my boys. You know, I have a lot of positive things to say still. I have a lot of negative things to say still. I'll say it. I think I'm the least tame out of the group. So I'm thinking about composure going into the draft desk game 3. There's a lot of things I want to change. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I'm not going to reveal those here because I'm not trying to give everybody an advantage going into game 3. Okay. It was not my choice to pick our top side.
Now,
I want to explain to our team why that isn't the right choice. And I can come in actually game 3 and talk to you about that. But I think it's just we're putting too much emphasis on stats instead of playing the way we like to play. And I think that our desire to do that led us to just pick something that we thought was OP rather than play how it works for us. And I think that's something we have to think about coming into game 3, because if we don't, TE played 3 nerf champions and we're like, we're playing our game. And we were like, oh wow, that's weird. Like, all these champions just got nerfed. And they were like, we don't care, we're playing our game. And it paid them so much. It gave them so much. And that's what we have to talk about.
Now, just before we cut the break, I do want to ask you, what do you think was exploited from TE to get this decisive victory over Literal Monkeys? Aside from the draft, what do you think they did right in game that you want your boys to clean up moving forward?
I mean, it's just a lot of lane power. Really playing well in lane. Anna Wintour just picking a lane and sticking to it. Really good read from her after game 1, recognizing like these lanes are pretty stable if I don't touch them. When I do touch them, it gets chaotic. Let me just stand near a lane and make it happen. And that gave Belby a huge advantage. Just camp mid, make Pyramid Boy stay in lane, force him to stick there. And they just executed on the strategy just like that. They were like, we suppress Pyramid Boy's ability to get ahead, and I think good things will happen. Now, is that true across all of the games? No, but I think that was true this game. And I think that's something they did really well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. We're going to be going into game 3 when we get back. So don't go anywhere. Paka's going to go ahead and join the literal monkey's call and get ready for this final draft. This could potentially be another upset. Last night we seen an upset in Platinum. Tonight, will the top team in Ionia fall to TE? We'll find out when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Game 3. I'm currently joined by iEnders, the ADC of Mythical Hydra, the only team to ever take a game off Literal Monkeys. They did lose the series, but it's interesting to have that perspective. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about your guys' match that you won against Literal Monkeys? What did you guys do to win that match?
Um, the match that we did beat the Little Monkeys, it was a very close game, but we were able to like team fight and we were able to like close out the game. But the third game, they kind of just were able to have control and they ended up finishing the game.
Now, it's been a very
They're a very
opposite.
good team.
It's been a very opposite scenario with TE Phantasm. They've been trying to win the games through lane. First game, they weren't able to do it. Second game, smashed the laning phase and were able to move that into an exciting victory as they smashed Literal Monkeys in that second game. Moving to the third game, Band's looking pretty similar. Rakan still taken off the table, but nothing really new from either of these teams. Wukong gonna be first pick from TE Phantasm here. How do you feel about the Wukong pick after watching that last game?
Yeah, I think Wukong's gonna be a very prio pick. I think I also want to see like probably. I think Jinx Zeri is also very good, right? If your monkeys taking away the Zeri, I think that's also fine. Zeri Yumi.
Oh, wait a minute. Zerayumi picked up by Literal Monkeys this time. It's going to be Zerayumi on the opposite side as they're going to try to do what TE Phantasm did better than them. It should be interesting to see. We haven't seen them on Zerayumi. They're just playing Jinx for the entirety of the series, but Jinx still left up if TE want to run it back on the opposite side of the equation.
Yeah, and I think if you pick here, I think you pick Jinx. Maybe you can go the Thresh route if you play that. If you can also go Enchanter, I think you would want to go something more with like engage potential on the Yumi. And then if you're red side, an aggressive jungler that can work. I think Jarvan is okay. Maybe even Vi. It's depending on the route they want to go. If they want to go more dive or if they want to play more front to back here.
Interestingly, the Sylas locked back in, and the Jarvan might be used to counter. We heard Paka talk about how badly he wanted that Jarvan picked third. I think, considering how he left this call, he's probably not listening as much to the players about how this draft is going. He was very gun-ho on this Jarvan being picked up. Could be a good pickup. However, Cyclone from Wukong's a strong pick into Jarvan overall. So we'll have to see if it gets locked in. It seems like it's going to as we move to the next round of bans.
Yep. I think the Jarvan pick, it is probably Russian Wukong, but gives you that early game pressure with the Zerayumi, right? Maybe look for some dives and bots or some plays to get the Zerayumi rolling. I think you gotta start throwing bans though. If you probably should pinch the mid pool or the support pool. If you want to take out the Thresh, give Jinx that safety away. Could also work from the Jarvan, right? The Thresh Lantern could help her a lot there, so maybe that might be a ban. I don't know if they play it necessarily, but looks like they're banning Gwen. Okay.
The Gwen, of course, taken away here. Nothing new in the second round phase of bans yet. A constant hover of the Bard, but still no cojones to lock it in. Would kind of be interesting to see Jinx Bard. Not necessarily the best combo, but a funny one. However, I think this is a very intense game, especially if you're both these teams. Literal Monkeys trying to get to that playoff spot without losing any series. TE wants to be the first team to dethrone the top of their division. Are they going to be able to do it tonight? The Galio banned away. Compelling case on why. We've seen how hard Bellsby went on that Galio. Was able to constantly roam the map. Able to be at every play and get himself far ahead of that victor. On the other side, the final ban from TE going to be... Drum roll. Da-da-da-da-da. The Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that's actually a really good ban. Yeah, Wukong Sylas, you don't really want something that makes it very hard to engage on. That's actually a really good ban. But let's see what they...
Be. Pyramid Boy isn't known for playing Cassiopeia, though. Kind of a little bit out of left field overall. But yeah, I can see where the Cassiopeia comes in, especially against a champion like Sylas if it goes mid this time.
Yeah, Vets.
Now, this is something Pyramid Boy's known for from time to time. Has a really decent win rate on Vex in solo queue. And I think Vex into Sylas can be really good. However, the ultimate steal from Sylas can make a big difference if he can use it right. If he can find those landings from the Vex ultimate and really get some resets off, could be a strong ultimate for Sylas to have.
Yeah, I agree. I think you You definitely want to get a lead early on, right? Because once you get into those team fights, you gotta respect the Wukong engage with the Silas Vet's ulti.
Ooh, a Talia coming out here. It looks like that Silas once again going top lane. And they troll with the Bard pick again. Here's what we've been asking. Who's going to be the support? Is it going to be the Thresh? Of course, Thresh is a big risk if they lock it in. If they can land the hooks on Zeri, it's huge. If they can't, they only have one target to try to hit, and they're pretty fast.
Yeah, I agree. I think though you probably have to lean into like more of an engage here, right? You already have like the Silas with the he can steal these ultis to engage, and Wukong.
Oh, we're
Heimerdinger.
running it back. The Heimerdinger comes out. We've seen this in game one. Very effective alongside a Zeri. This time it's alongside a Jinx. Is it going to be as effective as the question? Considering Zeri is a champion that, if they can position right, probably won't be getting hit by those turrets.
Yeah, I'm actually a one-trick Zeri. I get permabanded every game by everyone. I personally really enjoy Zeri into Heimerdinger, but you are having the Yumi, right? So you have the Jinx that's gonna. I can see that this blue side could have push. You have a Wukong, maybe gain early dragons is what you're trying to do here, and then transition that to the mid game. But if they don't have the push with the Heimerdinger lane, it could get a little bit rough for blue.
And of course,
Game for
Kled
sure.
going to be the last pickup into Silas. And one thing interesting to note about Literal Monkey's draft is if you look at their players, each one of them have a pick that's within their top 2 most played champions this season. Antion, also a Zeri main like yourself. 19 Naked Cowboys, I mean, every support mained Yumi at some point or another.
Yeah.
Zoomer frequents the J4. Vex is frequented by Pyramid Boy. And of course, Kled, Chinese Spy's second most played champion aside from Jax. Going into Phantasm, whose team don't necessarily play these champions as often, but have been very effective with it in the last couple of days. The one interesting thing to note is Grim Defier doesn't play Jinx that much. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the other side of the matchup. Anders, what do you think about these two team comps?
I think obviously on one side you have, like you said, the players are in their comfort picks. They're saying we're just going to play our style and our limitations of what we know of the champ. And the other side you have pure team fighting / they're trying to just take control of this bot lane prio, try to get the Jinx rolling with the resets. You have a lot of playmaking potential, but it's down to if they can execute that well, right? They have to play against these people that they know how to play these champions at a good level. So we're going to see what they can do.
Now, I gotta ask you the question I asked in game one. What soul do you want to see on the Rift today for this final game?
Okay. I'd probably, I'm an ADC main, so I'm biased. I want to see Headstech. But I know it's a very OP soul, but I want to see Headstech. I think
Now-
Headstech on either team could be very good. But
I
we'll see.
really need to see that Cloud Soul come out. You give me a Jinx, you give me a Zeri, you give me a Wukong, you give me a Colette.
Yeah.
How do you not want to see a Cloud Soul? I just love to see the speed of all these champions if it's picked up. My follow-up question is going to be, do you think that Tenebris Esports Phantasm is going to be the team to dethrone Literal Monkeys in this upcoming game?
As us Hydra are in second place, we're kind of hoping Monkeys to falter so we can have a chance at first, maybe. But I kind of do. I have the faith. I have the faith that Tenebris is gonna beat it, right? Kind of rooting for them, but I think it's gonna be tough. I think Little Monkeys is a good team. They lost the last game, but I think they did Let's Play Comfort to close this out. I think they're a very good team for sure. Tenebris, we went to 3 games with them too, and they aren't a bad team. But I think they definitely have a challenge. They're gonna have to do their best here to try to finish it out. But
Well,
I'm hoping for them to win.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to go ahead and go to the Rift. And when we come back, we'll be joined by both I-Enders, who's clearly looking for TE to win, and Paka, who's going to be repping his team. I'll be your one unbiased cast on the table. Don't go anywhere as we find out if Literal Monkeys are finally going to pick up their first series loss. Stay tuned. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Game 3 of TE Phantasm against Literal Monkeys. If TE wins, they'll be the first team in the Ionian group to ever take down Literal Monkeys in a full series. I'm joined by both Pekka and Enders. How are you both doing into this Game 3?
I mean, I'm feeling good. Again, being behind the draft desk makes me feel that way. Happy with the way things went in draft. I think that them going back to the Silas line is really bold, and I'm a big fan of people making bold choices. So excited for this Game 3. If our first game was a snooze fest that got scrappy, I am going to be amazed if there aren't 20 kills in 10 minutes in this game. This is going to be a fight.
Now, of
Yeah,
course,
and
we're getting
my bad.
just a normal five-man just standing at the 5 points. Nothing happening early like we've seen in the past couple of games.
Yeah, and I noticed looking at the starter items, Zeri went she upped into the Dorans into the Jane's Heimerdinger. I can see that working well with the Zeri on healing. So she has that extra health, but she has to be careful not to get hit by too much poke, or else maybe she'll fall a little bit too behind and get Prio out. But we'll see how well she plays it.
Yeah, the only thing I think that is interesting is I don't think the Zeri really has a choice on whether or not she's going to give up Prio. I don't see a world where between Jinx Rockets and Heimer push that the Zeri is under tower all game.
Yep.
Now,
But we'll see if the Dorans works out.
Jarvan pathing towards the top side, Wukong pathing towards the top side. I think this is the first game where the pathing has begun with both junglers heading towards the same lane. Both junglers are going to be looking to make an impact on XMB versus Chinese Spy. Probably one of the most volatile matchups on this rep.
And not to leak draft strats because we didn't really talk about it in draft, but I think it would be surprising if both junglers weren't top early in the next minute and a half. I think that both junglers are pathing towards this matchup for a reason, and we're going to see fighting topside.
Of course, Chinese Spy very well versed on that Kled going up against XMB. We've seen what he could do on the Silas last game. Yeah, already right now, very bloody, but also in the mid lane, both laners trying to chunk each other out. It's going to be Pyramid Boy finding the better trades early into this game.
Yeah, and I mean, matchup isn't that great for Vex, but it really fits the comp identity. And I mean, this player's finding everything.
Oh my god! They land the Ignite. They're gonna, if that Q lands, he would have died. But the flash forward finds the auto, is gonna trade 1-for-1, but it's a first blood from Pyramid Boy and burns Belvy's flash.
Yeah, and now you crashed the wave, right? So it's gonna push back to you. You can go back to the lane.
Wukong is in. MIT Zoomer tries to flash, but isn't going to be able to find anything. And it looks like he might go down. There it is. The charge forward. And now it's Chinese Spy, though. Remounts Kled. Going to stay alive a little bit longer as Anna Winters is going to find that double kill. It's a 2-for-1 for TE Phantasm.
Wow. And that's a gamble 2v2. That is a big gamble 2v2 that goes the way of TE. What are your thoughts on that, Enders?
I'm a little bit surprised. I thought for sure Kled Jarvan had the better 2v2, but I think probably the health bars or whatever happened. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. Now it's just looking really good for blue team. Except mid side where it was 1-for-1, so now right the wave is in Vet's tower, but so far bot's going as expected. But man, Wukong's fed. Wukong is in a good spot to carry the game now.
Yeah, of course, an early amount of gold onto Anna Wintour. We've seen how hard that can snowball out of control. Will it be the same this game? We've also seen from TE Phantasm in that first game, Zeri get super fed, but nothing come of it. So it's to be intriguing to see whether that gold lead is going to be capitalized on.
Yeah, and I mean, to give any hope towards Monkeys as well, Anna Wintour actually might be caught out.
Goes on Pyramid Boy. Pyramid Boy already chunked in less than a quarter, but Anna Winter health bar depletes in the blink of an eye. Belsby looking to chase down Pyramid Boy. MIT Zoomer looking to chase down Anna Winter. One of them got to the tower a lot quicker, though. And although MIT Zoomer flung back, Chinese Spy there. The W, though, going to come, but at the cost of Belby's life. It is still a 1-for-0 trade for Literal Monkeys.
And that's a big bailout on that early shutdown, because I think if that shutdown goes right back towards someone like Vex, I think that completely changes the perspective of the game, where it's like, oh, Wukong's really fed and strong, to, uh-oh, Vex just got a shutdown and she's already solo killed her laner, so not a bad sacrifice, all things considered, from Belby.
I have to say, though, Anna Winter staying on map to do those Raptors extremely risky considering what their health bar was at.
I have headcanon from last game when you said junglers are never happy. I think Anna Wintour is pissed that Belby died, even though it saved Wukong's life. In my head, there's I'm taking these Raptors because I lost my HP because of my mid laner. I just like to think that's how junglers think now. So, it's actually true. But I think junglers are gambling players, and I think that's we gamble everywhere.
Oh, we got some good
gamble on the
trading
top
up.
side as XMB knocks Kled off Scarl, and I mean it's a better half of the trade, but when you're against a Kled, the hard part trading is they're able to get that second health bar back so quickly. But oh my god, Belby chunks so much. Are they gonna go down? The Ignite is doing a lot of damage. However, knocked back is Pyramid Boy. Bellsby barely getting out of that one.
Oh, and this matchup is looking really good all of a sudden for Vex. I guess the win rates might get it wrong sometimes because this is domination from Pyramid Boy in the mid lane.
I think the one advantage that Talia really has, though, is once that level 6 hits, getting that wall to impact other lanes can make a huge difference, especially when you're looking at the solo queue stats of the champion.
And I will say another sad thing. Where's our Cloud Soul?
No Cloud Soul in it. It's so rare we don't get a Cloud Soul. It's sad that when games it looks good. It's not that, but here we go. Next, flying in out of nowhere. Anna Wintour gets the shutdown. The shutdown on Wukong goes to Zeri, the perfect champion to get a shutdown. You gotta be smiling about that, Paka.
Yeah, I might be a little happy. I think this is much, much better from us early. I think we're really going back to it. And what I love to see out of teams after losing a big game too like that is just came into draft call, everybody was feeling good. No one was feeling bad. The morale was high and the mental was good, and that's what's most important.
Now, up at the top lane, Silas versus Shiny Spy happening again. Of course, stealing Cled's ultimate to get to the lane quicker. I do want to ask, in chat, they were talking about maybe the Silas getting banned from Literal Monkeys, thinking it was a good idea. Why didn't you elect to take the Silas ban?
Okay, so people say, like, we play a lot of good R comps, which is true. There are a lot of great Rs for Silas this game. There's no ways there's not. But when you draft a lot of Rs like we do, I think it's counterintuitive to draft Silas. I mean, to ban Silas. Because he can only have one at a time, he can only really pick one, and there is one best one he biases towards anyway. So as soon as you pick one, you might as well pick multiple. And we also have this counter prepped in, like, the reason why the Silas was so good was because we blended Malphite. We decided to give our counter pick to our top laner and blend Vex instead. And now we have a matchup we like. And that's what's important, I feel. That's what our decision is.
I gotta ask Enders here. With the Silas being brought up, what ultimate do you think they'll be targeting this game? Because there are a lot of good Rs for him to take. What if you're playing Silas, if you're XMB right here, what ultimates are you really looking to take when it gets to these team fighting stages?
I think you take the Vets ults. You could take the Jarvan ults, but it's very hard, right? Like, even if you get on top of the Zeri, she'll still see you over the wall. I think you take the Vets ult and try to look for a combo in with the Wukong. You could also take the Kled ult if you were looking to do like a good roam from top to mid, threaten that with the Kled ult for objectives. But I see Vets being the top prio ults to take.
All right, now the rip has been as quiet as it's ever been, but a fight in the bot lane gonna come out. Fox Stepbro dies to a Cataclysm, and Grimdefire left all alone with an exhaust on them. They are under their turret, but here comes Vex to finish it off. In the top lane, Chinese Spy being bullied from Anna Wintour and XMB, but when Anna stays under the tower too long, gets the shutdown, but ultimately succumbs to their wounds. In the bot lane, though, wow, actually a lot of people went down. Jinx went down as well. They did find the kill on Clint in the top lane, and overall it's a 4-7. Literal Monkeys leading the charge with about a 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and it seems like what happened off cam is the dive didn't go well at first, but then Vex came down to clean it up, which does give Talia a wave mid, but I think Jinx decided to stay because she thought she was out and got punished anyway, which is an unfortunate timer.
Is Zoomer overstaying? Fox Step might be able to find the kill here. Jinx is coming back to lane, but Zoomer. Oh, the comment doesn't hit. That's gotta hurt if you're Fox Step, bro.
Oh, here's the hammer. Look at the hammer.
Oh,
he's still
WW.
He's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot for it. No. Oh, poor Step, bro. Jarvan was stuck, but Step, bro, couldn't finish the job.
I gotta say it, man. He's one of my best friends. He's such a griefer. He's on 10% HP trying to hit a pink. Walk away, man. He gets away with it at the end of the day, though, so it's still good things.
He didn't even get the ward, though. It was such a risk for such a little reward. But in the top lane, we're getting another play. Zoomer coming back. Chinese Spy caught, but Zoomer is here to help him out. It's going to be another 2v2. A big lead could be claimed by Monkeys or a big comeback from TE. The Cataclysm's double Cataclysm brought out as Chinese Spy watches his friend sacrifice his life for him. He's trying to get Scarl back, but he's not able to do it as he's forced to flash it. He does live. It's a risky tower dive, but here comes Belby. Belby, the bells are ringing in Notre Dame as they're going to be looking for the Kled kill. Kled gets the back. He gets out of there alive. It's a steal.
Pyramid Boy's coming bottom. No, it's a counter dive. Oh,
It could be a counter dive. They
Never
do
mind.
spot out Vex. There's no way for them to play with. Vex might actually be the one at risk.
Might be in a bad spot here.
Vex running to that, has the fear up, needs to get away with those turrets, really stopping them. They are just gonna walk through and get their ass out of there.
maybe I have no self-control, but I think I'm still ulting the support there
Wait.
if I'm Vex.
No, we're staying.
Wait, the ult is here though.
Overstay.
It's a 2 against 1 under their own turret. XMB going to be traded back for literal monkeys. An overstay is going to keep the gold in their system.
Yeah, and you had a huge win in top. You just you crash the wave, back up, take the reset, take it whatever you can. But now just the gold.
Pyramid Boy, Pyramid Boy. The Cyclone is up. The Knuckum is found. Goodbye, Pyramid Boy.
Oh.
Should have became Pyramid Head because they didn't. They are going to go down really quick. Still very weak in that mid lane despite the early pressure that Vex had.
Yeah, 14 kills in 11 minutes. The shutdowns, blue side, red side, both of them bouncing off the shutdowns one another. They're saying, let's make this an interesting game. But mid tower down, mid tier 1 down in 12 minutes. That's really good. Now you can have Prio to set up vision for objectives.
A second crash is found as well, and now Zoomer caught out of position to get knocked back, and Anna gonna find another kill. It's a 5-2 monkey riding the rift. And here comes bot lane. Last chapter used. They're going after Fox Stepbro. Fox Stepbro is going to go down. They won't find Grim to Fear, but still a nice kill to go on their 2-0 Zeri. A strong ADC on literal Monkey's side, but is it going to be enough to take down the Monkey King, which is on TE Phantasm?
Yeah, now if I'm blue team actually, right? So you get this, the Zeri got a kill on the Heimer, but the Heimer's back up. You can just walk back to Dragon. Zeri has no ulti nor Yumi. You could probably just start up the Dragon now. As they are gonna run to it now, so maybe they're just saying Jinx can't fight us, she need to reset. Let's see what they decide to do. Yes, they're gonna take the dragon.
Now. All 4 of them. Are TE going to move towards that dragon, but it doesn't look like it. It's already down to 3k. They take it awfully quick with Zeri, Jarvan, Vex. It's the missile completely misses as that Chemtech smited it too was almost stolen from Fox Stepbro. You could feel the clinching coming from Jarvan, but ultimately they do get the dragon as they're up. Stack 2 dragons in the backpack.
I could feel the clutching coming from me.
Zoomer is making this game very close.
Oh my god, Anna could be caught here, and the 300 gold bounty takes a lot of damages. 4 of them are ready down there. They're not going to commit to the tower dive though.
Yeah, the smite, the dragon was at 2 health, the Heimer rockets almost hit it. This Heimer has been almost catching this Jarvan, but Jarvan has lived to a taste of death. But here we go, heavy trading on top. Shouldn't lead to anything though. Shouldn't lead to anything.
Tower here. XMB takes them down to half as well. They're saying very neck and neck despite the advantage in gold from Kled.
Yes, but Talia was running around red side. I thought she would run up, maybe do a potential. Ah, she doesn't have ult, that's why. Yeah, so now it's just a reset for Kled. He has TP, but Side's gonna take the reset.
Rift once again, all quiets on the western front for now, but Talia aiming her shot. No Weaver's Wall, but still looking to pick apart Chinese Spy. No wards to spot her out. He might not know she's there. Chinese Spy trying to regain Scarl, trying to get ready to run. But at the moment, he needs to charge it up a little more. He is going to find it. Still not a lot of gas left in the tank as he runs towards the tower. And the bots and anti and ulting, getting on Fox Stepbro. Fox Stepbro nowhere to run. He tries to flash away. Is it going to be enough? Nah, flash towards from Andion. He's going to find the kill. That's 3-0-2 on the Zeri. In the top lane, though, it's 2-on-1 against Chinese Spy. Chinese Spy has the tower to back him up. Is going to live.
What a maniac Chinese Spy is. He's still taking a 2v1 when he's up. He's like, I'm round 2. Get me again. It's unbelievable.
And it's a nightmare down in bots. Right, the Zeri just...
Looking for that Jinx. It didn't find her, but did burn the flash. Well, I guess the flash was already burnt, but they are going to find that T1 bot turret to try to open up the map on the bot side a little more. I expect to see Antion and Yumi rotate to that mid lane now and try to find that mid turret.
Yeah, you have a 3-0 Zeri. It's looking really good right now. You've pretty much been able to do 2v2 kills down in bots. The Heimerdinger lane isn't what you expected it to be. So now you're just trying to have to get picks. You have to find a way to kill this Zeri with a 400 gold shutdown, or else she's just gonna have to take control and win the game.
Yeah, and I think the biggest story to tell here is what shutdown goes down first. Is it that Wukong shutdown or is that Zeri shutdown? Zeri is a little bit easier to get onto in general without Yumi, but with Yumi, I feel like it's a harder task for TE at this point because this Zeri is just so unnecessarily tanky, and it looks like there's going to be a fight around the Rift here to decide it.
Very well could be. The entirety of Literal Monkeys has moved towards. Meanwhile, Zeri still bot, but Zeri is bot with TP. Jinx still in base, though. The numbers advantage is strongly on Literal Monkeys' side. However, they might have time to get there. The Rift Herald has only spawned now. Jinx leaving base, walking towards there. However, the bot turret does fall. That's a free bot turret for TE. It doesn't look like they're going to be contesting this Rift Herald very hard, as the numbers advantage strongly favors Literal Monkey. That's going to be a good second Herald from them. Can they find anything with it is going to be the question you have to ask.
Yeah, because they're letting Belby farm up in the side lane for a really long time. I think if you're TE, you're not dissatisfied with this. I think giving and cross-mapping as well as you did because of Monkey's early setup is kind of fine. Even though, like, the Rift is a powerful thing they might use, I think you're happy, your TE.
Absolutely. I think it's a strong play. Of course, if that Herald doesn't find a tower, it's a positive play for them for sure. A lot of waves, though, being pushed in this mid lane. Potentially a fight raring to break out.
Looking at item breakpoints as well, it seems like the game is like just... I know the gold is only 800 apart, but it also seems like despite the two slightly stronger players on the side of TE and Monkeys, it does feel like everybody's at a pretty even breakpoint. If you look at levels, if you look at items, if you look at just the whole game as a picture, it feels like it's not one individual that is going to decide this game as of right now, just on items alone. So it's very interesting how the next team fight is going to play off and who's going to be the most powerful, because everybody has a chance to become the carry and be the hero of this game 3 right now.
Yeah, there is still a lot of potential around. Right now, the shining players look to be the Anna Wintour for TE, and on the side of Literal Monkeys, that Zeri is starting to look mighty strong, looking towards that second item at the moment. And there's a setup here in this bottom brush as that Ocean Drake spawns. Of course, with Literal Monkeys already 2 dragons up, you know that they want to fight it. And MIT Zoomer getting caught a little bit. However, in the backline, Zeri is going after Anna Wintour. The Vex finds the ultimate. They go down. Grim to Fire all by herself. No support to help her this time. And she is going to go down as well. Also, Fox Sepro caught out from Chinese Spy and Jarvan, and they went down as well. MIT Zoomer, despite the early damage, got killed, and that Herald being placed, that T1 mid going to fall. They're looking for the T2 as well. If that crash can be found, it's a very big net positive for Monkeys. It crunches as they continue the fight against XMB and Belby. A lot of damage being taken. XMB retreats out of the fight. A shutdown found by Belsby, but they go down as well to Antion as XMB runs to that turret. Antion might still try to find the kill here as the Ocean Drake is stacked again for Literal Monkeys. That's a 3rd Drake for them.
And even with the gold in a deadlock right now, basically only 1,500 gold up as GB caught. Oh, never mind. It's
Antion hopping over that
Zeri.
wall.
Yeah, on me.
Zeri thinks.
Fair and balanced champion for sure. There's no reason this champion has been reworked 4 times since her release.
Oh yeah, on me. Any other idiot in the game can't stand there. I haven't. I'm Boomer. My bad. I'm Boomer. Oh.
Now, one thing your team is booming in, though, is that dragon economy. 1 dragon away from Ocean Zone. That dragon's going to be spawning in 4.5 minutes. However, 30 seconds away from Baron. Would you like to see Monkeys pressure it?
I think I just want to see it create enough pressure that they have to think about it and potentially walk into picks. I don't think we're ever in a situation where we force it here. So if we do force Baron, I think that's a big oversight by the side of Monkeys. But there isn't a lot of Baron dancing. Oh no!
Forcing Chinese Spy, trying to force a play. Not going well for him, but his team's here to back him up. Antion might be caught in the cyclone, though. Jarvan Cataclysm, Zeri in, but they still find Anna Wintour. The fight has been turned hard. Zeri is popping off. The Sonic mode is activated as everybody is falling. Fox Step Bro trying to run away with their life, but Zeri, a little bit too fast for you, little bro, as you are going to die once again. Over there, though, XMB fighting the rest of the team with no Zeri. He's just caught in his own Cataclysm. Sunny Spy chasing him down, and XMB has nowhere to go. Only walls to dash over. Too many people, and here comes Antion. XMB going to die as well, and Pyramid Boy not even there. They just took a 4v5 and found the victory. That's a free Baron.
Yeah, and it's a nightmare, right? You cannot win these team fights like this. You have to push side lanes, look for Wukong, Talia to have good setup, try to get these picks, because right now they're too ahead to do team fights. You need to try to find a way to get the shutdowns, and now it's just looking like a simple Baron take. You can take the bot tier 2, top tier 2. All these outer turrets are just gonna die.
Let me ask
I'm not gonna lie.
In 2 minutes 50 seconds, we have this last Ocean Drake. That if Monkeys claims they're gonna get soul and possibly be able to keep their series streak alive, what do you think that if they want to end Literal Monkey's series streak, what does TE need to do?
They need to find a way to get a pick. I don't think fighting these objectives are going to be fair, and if you do, you need to have a flank and a really massive team fight engaged to try to get the carries down early. If not, you have to try to get a pick in the side lane, have numbers advantage to potentially get the dragon.
Does it matter who's the picks on, or do you think it can be a pick on anybody?
You have to kill the... It either has to be Zeri. If you can get Vets, I think that could also... it has to be either Vets or Zeri.
I'm gonna double down on this. Guys, Zeri POP? The nerfs might not matter, guys. I think it has to be on the Zeri or the Zeri 4v5s.
Oh, I'm gonna be real.
Oh my god, the Vex ultimate is in. They're going after Belsby. The matchup we've seen all game that Pyramid Boy has been winning. Belsby has no assistance as the Jarvan comes up to help. Meanwhile, XMB trying to take it on himself. Find that Zeri pick we've been talking about. They are Antion in a rough situation, but they have activated Sonic mode. They're ready to roll. And the TP from Kled is going to scare off the rest of TE as Anna Wintour might be caught, and you don't want to be caught here, Anna Wintour. But here they go. They find Zeri. Cyclone. They're all on top of Antion. Is this the pick? Is this the pick they're looking for? Antion goes down. Yumi caught off in a hard spot. It's a 5v4 now with no Zeri. But it still is a lot of damage from Pyramid Boy. 2 members are going to fall from TE as the rest of the 3 low health. Oh my god! There goes Anna Wintour as well. They find the Cataclysm onto Grim, and even without the Zeri, it is Literal Monkeys who are firmly on top.
Yeah, and if it's not the Zeri, it's going to be the Vets. It's just they're massively ahead. You were able to get 1,000 gold on the Zeri, but it went to the Wukong, not the Jeans. So, and now they're just going to get us the blue inhib. Or
they're
maybe even
looking
more.
for the inhib right now. That T3 chart going to be taken.
Just inhib.
The thing with inhib being taken, though, is Ocean Drake's up in a minute. If Literal Monkeys find that Ocean Drake, it is soul for them.
Yeah, and whoop. I mean, I thought picking the Vex was enough. 4v2 in the mid lane, TP comes in, the re-engage comes in, they still want it. They find the pick. I guess Yumi's OP? Guys, I'm getting lost. I'm getting lost in this game.
The Yumi's OP because of the Zeri. The Yumi's OP because of the Zeri.
Yeah, we're sure. Guys, who let Riot do this, by the way? Sorry,
whoever it was, I'm thankful because she's my main. I love Zeri with a passion. I know everyone hates that champ, but I like to be electric and zooming.
Well, right now, 10 seconds of Dragon. Thank you, by the way, Titan, for rating us before what could potentially be the final fight of this series. 5 seconds on this Ocean Dragon. And Literal Monkeys using Chinese Spy to guard the gate. And here they go. They find the pick. There goes Anna Wintour with no jungle. And the Vex ult still going wild. XMB trying to run for his life, but now they don't really have anyone who can steal that Ocean Drake except for the super mega death rocket from Grim to Fear. You can only imagine that they all hope are on Jinx to get this dragon. It has finally been started. They do have vision actually. That ward is not blocking it from the pink. It's on Grim. Are they going to find it? They send out the super mega death rocket. Can it steal? It doesn't. It was so close.
It's an ult and a prayer. It's an ult and a prayer from Jinx. It was so close.
Oh
it
man, and
hit 1,000 damage, but the smite was able to get it just in time. 900 damage. Oh my god. moments away. An auto attack different, and that dragon was stolen from Jinx, but now Ocean Soul is on Literal Monkeys. Their undefeated streak very likely going to survive here.
Absolutely.
it's
And
looking
also,
like a
thank you to LBLCS for rating us as well with 100 viewers. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's looking like a nightmare for that
I
bot,
didn't even
right?
notice that. Good call. Thank you so much, you guys. As you tune in to the end of the series, we might need... There could be a comeback still. There is a chance. Why don't you break it down for us, Ianders? What do you think needs to happen for a comeback to occur?
I think you really need to find a way to get a pick. You're not going to win even the outnumbered 4v5 fights, right? You need to try to get like 3 people, 3v1, and even then it's looking rough on the Zerayumi. This champ is looking like an absolute menace. The Vets is looking like fiddlesticks out here fearing people. It's like a nightmare and a terror, but here we go. Talia getting caught out.
It actually ends up catching MIT Zoomer. And oh my god, what a serial! It's the Jinx. No more ADC for TE. Phantasm. But however, oh my god, Pyramid Boy gets completely caught by the Cyclone. There are 4 members of each team left standing as the Baron spawns in. A Chinese Spy getting really caught up here by XMB. XMB chasing him down, not close to Scarl at all. XMB is looking to find him, but Chinese Spy getting really close now to picking up Scarl. He does find a lot of health back for Chinese Spy.
Yeah, and the Vets getting caught out. The shutdown went to the Heimerdinger, so it's not exactly the ideal, but you take what you can get.
Great Chinese Spy, huge tower dive here. He's looking to finish off XMB. A lot of tower shots taken, but it doesn't knock him off Scarl, meaning XMB can't get away, and XMB goes down right before Baron. And now once again, really rough position for TE Phantasm. How can they claim Baron when they're a lot of gold? They're 8,000 gold down, a soul down, and no top laner to help them fight.
And you just have to pressure this. You have to push side lanes and try to get these picks, right? Talia, there hasn't been a good Talia ult to try to do side lane plays from the early to mid, so now you have to do something late game with... You have to outnumber, try to get a pick in the side lane. From that number, see if you can get an objective or vision control. You gotta push these waves out somehow.
Now, Silas has just spawned. There's still been no pressure on the Baron. Might be a little bit of a misplay from Literal Monkeys not going after it, especially with that inhib down. They do want to find a chance to close out the game as best they can, considering their lead. They don't, even though they are very ahead, they don't want to give any chance of TE being able to get some pressure back, get some gold back, and scale alongside them. Of course, Jinx will be a threat when they get the third item, when they finally pick up that IE. However, I got a question for you guys. Do you think the Bloodthirster might be a little bit of a mistake here on the Jinx?
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to go IE second tier, or possibly... No, yeah, IE second. You need to try to have the damage spike, because right now you're a 2-item Jinx, but you don't really have much damage to threaten onto the Jarvan. But it looks
4
like
members on top of him. Cyclone, the Baron is
Jinx.
being taken. Jinx gets a big shutdown here. 450 gold shutdown, but the Baron firmly in the pocket of Literal Monkeys.
Yeah, and the Baron was gonna fall anyway, so you were able to get the side lane clad shutdown into the Jinx right now. Try to hope to get her some items. She did go the Bloodthirster second, which I think it's not really gonna help you whatsoever. The enemy team is 2 ahead, that even their burst damage is just gonna kill you, so you wanna play behind, do as much damage as you can for a reset, but it's gonna be rough now with the Baron. But let's see if they can do something.
Yeah, and something that I think is interesting here is, not that you guys can see it, but Monkeys are pinging Elder Timer right now. I don't think Monkeys should let this flip go to Elder. I think if Elder gets stolen or something desperate happens, there could still spell trouble now with the gold lead kind of still large, but not so significant that it's uncomebackable.
Here comes a possible pick on Bellsby. The Cataclysm is brought out. Anna Wintour gets exhausted. There goes Bellsby, and Anna Wintour's caught in a rough spot. The Cyclone comes out, but not enough damage. Now XMB trying to save their fallen friend is also going to die. That's a triple kill. They might not need that Elder. They have Baron buff. They have the wave coming down mid. That inhib might have respawned, but it's not going to be spot very long. Jinx and Heimer, 2 souls and a dream, and the dream is crumbling in front of them. Unfortunately, math says 5 does tend to beat 2, but can Grim and Fox prove us wrong? A huge Vexel. It's Grim does find a potential kill on Pyramid Boy. Pyramid goes golden, but Foxbro finishes the kill. Oh, Jarvan goes in, but with no Cataclysm, can't stay on top. Shiny Spy, though, now on top of them. Oh my god, absolutely deleted. It's only Fox, Step Bro left standing to watch his base crumble, and Literal Monkeys going to stay undefeated and at the top of the Ionian division.
And that is what we love to see. If you're a Literal Monkeys homer, a Literal Monkeys believer. Wow, what a wild game 3 nonetheless, though, Rovio.
Oh, it was absolutely incredible to watch. Game 1, very, very intense. Literal Monkeys barely getting the win. Game 2, absolutely a smash from TE Phantasm. But in this Game 3, Literal Monkeys proved why they have never lost a series 6 weeks into BOL Gold.
Yeah, Coach Gap, I mean, other than that. But, like, they play pretty good, too. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. But overall, honestly, what a fantastic fight from TE as well, though. I will say that in all of these games, they definitely looked involved and in these games.
And I think one thing to mention about them as well is usually they have Technics as their jungle, but recently they've been playing Anna Wintour, and we really seen why. Anna had a huge presence despite being on the losing end of the series, a massive presence throughout the game. But I'm going to ask you here, you as the coach, let's let you pick the MVP of Literal Monkeys. Who do you think performed the best out of your 5?
It's gotta be Antion. He's my guy. He's my guy. Honestly, people are sleeping on him. Stats say he's 7th best. If you look at every other Monkeys player in the league, they're top 30 on average. If you look at one player that is making us undefeated, it's because Antion week in, week out is so consistent. And he showed that again here. This was bot lane domination game 3. Game 1, he played fantastically. Game 2, really no one played great. And if you look at our 2 wins and why they happened, it's that man in the bot lane.
Now, being able to have the coach here, I need to ask you, you guys have been performing amazingly in the Ionian group, but we were talking off camera about how the Ionian group compared to like Demacia is a lot teams that are a lot closer in record. Freljord has a lot of teams closer in record. Noxus has a lot of teams that are a lot closer in record. How do you guys feel going into playoffs knowing you will be playing teams outside of your group that could potentially be a very different beast?
It's exciting. It's also like when a team, we've been winning a lot, and that feels good. Having the winning recipe always feels good. But when you get into playoffs, you have one chance to get it right every week, week in, week out. And a lot of these teams in other groups look really good. So I think that my boys need to not get cocky, need to understand that because we're winning now, there could be teams outside of our group that are much better than us, and that we really have to pull a great night of games out to beat. And we need to stay humble throughout all this. So if we can keep our mentality in the right spot and not get too over our heads here, I have a big belief that we might be one of the favorites to win the whole thing. But just because we're the top of Ionia does not mean the job is done yet. And that's what I have to say.
And I think that is very well said. We're going to go ahead and start closing out the stream. I just want to say thank you so much to Pop-Tart and Matthew for producing this. A great performance from Tenebris Esports Phantasm, being the second team ever to even pull a game off Literal Monkeys. Of course, as always, Literal Monkeys came, they threw the blows, and ultimately came out successful as they move into Week 7. Great, just great coaching. I appreciate both you and iEnders being on the color with me. I was T.I. Romeo. Thank you to both Low Budget LCS and Titan for the raids, and we're going to be closing out. We'll see you guys either tomorrow for the IBS League at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, or you can tune in next week for both Masters Platinum, and on the same day, of course, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Blue Otter Gold. Thank you so much, and we are going to go ahead and sign off.
Thanks for having me, BOL.